Hello, my name is Keith Thompson. I'm president of Asheville Civitan Club this year. I'd like to invite each and every one of you to join us for the upcoming television series, Spirit of Civitan TV. It's going to be on URTV, and we're going to be covering some of the important issues affecting our community. We're going to be meeting some of the civic leaders who are making a difference every day in the lives of our community, and making things better for our children and grandchildren, making this a better place in which to live. So we hope you will be able to join us and watch our series as it comes forward. Thank you.
There. All right. Good afternoon. We finally get the computer worked out for us. This week, I'm not going to forget, and I'll turn that down as soon as Paul Tracy's coming up, because you're doing the invocation, please.
Can all of you hear me? Yes. If you can't, we have hearing devices that really work. Right over there. This is a great day for all of us in this country. Today, we have the privilege to vote in an honest election for the President and the Vice President of the United States and many state and local candidates. A privilege that has been passed down to us by the founders of our land. We give you thanks, O Lord, for our good fortune today. And we ask your guidance to preserve this privilege now and forevermore. Bless this food do I use, and thus do thy service. In Christ's name, amen. Amen.
And Judge Sherman did the greeting today. I think everyone was well met. That's good. We had the honoring Wortham again. We're trying to get some Christmas money together for them. So don't come up here. So you put a couple of bucks in every week, and you'd be surprised. Oh, you wanted to tell us, Larry wants to tell us how much money there is. Oh, okay. So far, there's $316.35, and there's 4 weeks left to go, because that's kind of plus, that counts this week, so this week plus 3 more. We're doing well on that. And of course, my goal was to get Keith's money out of it. I think we accomplished that, so that's great. One of my tasks this month is each month we're having some of the activities that we're involved in, have someone come forward and report on it. And fortunately, I was able to beg off on this. I'm on the board at Kid Voting, and so I called the executive director of Kid Voting to come up and give us a 5-minute report on what's going on, since this is their big day.
I'm Ann Raven. Most of you know who I am because you've volunteered with us for many years now. This is our 9th election. I've been out at about 10 precincts this morning, and everything's going very smoothly. There are short lines and no lines at places to vote. I think that's an indicator of how many did vote at early voting. We have a huge number of high school students serving as our precinct captains. This is a really big opportunity for the kids to actually learn and develop some leadership skills kind of on the job. They end up with about 25 hours of volunteer community service credit. I had a young lady email me back in the spring. She's now a college student. She said, "This was my favorite thing to do for community service, and you wouldn't believe how much I talked about it in college interviews." So it's beneficial for the students, and it's definitely beneficial for kids voting, because locating volunteers for 78 precincts and all the folks to staff it all day long, that's hard to find with adults, because they have to work. And the retirees are all at their campaigning, or they're here eating lunch today, and then they're headed right back out. But John called and said, "Do you think you could come election day?" And I went, "Oh, no." But then he said, "I'll feed you." And I said, "Okay." Because the meals here are great. That is the update on kids voting. Things seem to be going smoothly out in the precincts. We did participate in early voting. We've gotten in several hundred early voting things. There were also schools sort of doing their own early voting, and I worked with as many as I was aware of to ask them to please send their totals to us so we could count. That's not something I have complete control over, but we were trying to get as many as possible. Later tonight, we'll be counting the ballots. I have discovered a new and better way to hand count instead of using those silly tally sheets that make you go brain dead. It was like watching a tiny tennis game, do like that, and it hurts your eyes. I found out that the state of New Hampshire hand counts almost everything they do every year. And I thought, well, certainly kids voting is smaller and more organized than New Hampshire. So I found out a new way to do it. You just sort them out like cards. And then you count your stacks. Wow. Yeah, that would work. So we'd like any and all of you who would like to come and help count tonight, we appreciate you being there. 7:30 at the Asheville City Schools main office, not Asheville High School, not Buncombe County main office, Asheville City Schools main office up on Mountain Street off of Martin Luther King. And I guess I have like a second or two for a question. If anybody has any, I'd be glad to answer it. So y'all know more than I do about it. We appreciate Keith and John being on our board. When Keith is running for office, he can't be on our board, and then he sends us John. So I appreciate y'all's support over the years. Thank you so much. I'll probably slip out after I eat because I do have to go set up for the night.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ian. I know that you're run out on this if you need to. Is that, and I tell you, I told everyone before that I've been doing this volunteering up at Weaverville and handing out stuff for the Democratic Party. And every time a kid went by, I'd say, "They have kid voting. Boy, you should have seen their eyes light up." I mean, they just, "Oh, wow," they think, because they're there with their parents, and suddenly they're getting to do the same thing that their folks are doing, and they are really excited about it. And even as they get taller, they continue to be excited about it. So, well, I didn't get into that kind of detail. But thank you for your effort, and I enjoy working with it, so it's great. I think I'm pretty much, I only have one other thing. I'm going to reissue the Sergeant at Arms. You're right, 50-50. The Sergeant at Arms, we could use some help with Sergeant at Arms. Some people. Oh, yes, too. Yes, go ahead, yes.
Many years ago, I met a man named Bob Beard. Bob Beard talked me into joining this club. I went on, and the one thing I was president. Today, I have the privilege of introducing Bill Beard, his son, to the club as a protecting.
Well, welcome, Bill. I'm sure you've heard about our club for many years.
I'm getting a membership form.
Yeah, I have one right up here. So. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
My guest today is a recently elected vice president who's not from Alaska, but from New York City, friend Ken Donnelly.
Could you, is it Ted? Did you say Ted? Ken. Okay. All right. I used Q-tips this morning, I swear. All right. So that brings us to the most important thing of the day, and that's 50-50. So I'm going to ask. I think we have $12 in here, and I'm going to ask Gary to step forward or stand up and draw the winning ticket. All right, 0, 9, 7, 3, 5, 4. There we go. right here. All right, so next is the judge going to introduce the speaker for today.
Thank you. Our guest this afternoon is Gary Jackson. He's our city manager, as you can see from the slide. He's been our city manager for the past 3 years. He and his wife Kathy moved here from Fort Worth, Texas, where he was city manager. And I would proudly announce that his wife's from Oklahoma, so she's bound to be a wonderful person. Which means, of course, his two sons, Mark 14 and Kenny 17, are undoubtedly gifted. So, triumph of Oklahoma genetics. So, and he did not put the islands on Kimberly, so don't start with that.
I did not put the islands on Kimberly, but I'm afraid I'm paying the claims. We had the good fortune of opening those up, putting those in operation the weekend that the North Carolina trial lawyers were in town. So they not had any trouble getting a hold of me. I had an interesting conversation with one gentleman about whether or not his wife should be driving with a cell phone. It wasn't my idea, but he kind of wanted to make sure that I understood the difficulties people have driving in Asheville while taking care of their business. We will satisfy those claims and move on. I think that the traffic engineer and I, if we have a say about it in the future, we won't accept the consultant's recommendations for the construction. We'll just put speed humps in and leave it at that. I think I should quit on that point. I really am pleased to be here today. This is a great club. I know several of you, and I know that you care about government. That's the reason why I do this job as city manager, is because I really think that being in a role where you can make a difference, where you can work with people, where you can help them work through their problems, and make a difference in lives. We do that day in, day out. That's what it's all about to me. I wanted to have a career where I could be relevant, pursue a degree in business, and I really have a lot of respect and admiration for people who can run a successful business and keep them going through ups and downs and cycles and resizing and right-sizing and the challenges that in making payroll today present. But I found that when I got out of school, I had a lot of the same values that this club has. I really think there is a better way to go, and I really think that it's been a good career for me. My goal is to carry out the mayor and council's policy direction. So I want to talk to you some today about where I get satisfaction is taking their short list of priorities and putting programs and projects and initiatives in place. So I'm going to share some of those with you today. How many of you are new to the community in the last 5 years? Most of you are very, very familiar with Asheville, but the nation and the world has found Asheville. Most of the groups that I speak to, I see a very high percentage of people that are new to the community, and as is often the case, people come here from various different perspectives, not just different parts of the country, but have a very different reason. They have different reasons for being here, and they know various different aspects about the community. So I'd like to start this talk with just an overview that many of you are familiar with, and that is that Asheville is a commercial center. It's an area that extends far beyond just the city limits. We have a good number of employees. As a matter of fact, I'd like to hire everybody from Asheville, but we actually have people that drive from Tennessee, from Gastonia, from Waynesville, as far away as that. Now, the price of fuel is going to make a difference there for some folks. I think you're going to see, and I'll talk about that theme here some more later, about the growth pattern and development pattern of the community. But we are a regional hub. And many of you, since you've been here a while, can remember when downtown Asheville was not the exciting, revitalized place it is today. It's made a major transformation. But now with national recognition, people are coming here for more than the basics. We provide the basic city services, but they want people, when they come to Asheville, people when you've lived here your whole life, you want more than just the basics. So I want to talk about that. We have seen some growth in population, but it probably surprises you that despite how it has felt the last few years, that there are other parts of the state experiencing much more rapid rates of growth. Have any theories as to why it may seem? Would you have thought Asheville would be this low on the chart?
Yeah. No.
Yes, no?
No.
Why do you think it feels like there's been a higher rate of growth?
Infrastructure is so strained.
Infrastructure is strained. That's true. Limited land space, transportation corridors, things like that. That's one aspect. Some other ideas? Sorry?
Medical facilities.
Medical facilities. That is an important part of it. As a regional medical center, people actually come here from Tennessee, from Waynesville, from elsewhere to get to take care of their health needs.
Then they die.
Any other thoughts as to why the growth seems so dramatic? It's been a dramatic history.
Increasing traffic.
Traffic's a big part of it. Another part of it, and I'll just touch on this and move on, is the fact that there is a downtown, and a lot of the growth has been either concentrated, where it's very visible downtown, or on the hillsides, mountainsides. Here's the point about the medical center. It's not just the medical, it's the cultural attractions. This is an employment center for banking and services. Our daytime population grows very rapidly during the day. So even though the population of Asheville has only grown from 70 to 75,000 in the last decade, the growth in jobs, the growth in reasons to come downtown, to come to Biltmore Village, to come to Mission Hospital, to come to the colleges, has grown dramatically. I think a lot of us take it for granted, but there's a huge influx of folks that come in here every day for educational purposes. AD Tech helped stem the impact of the fuel crisis we recently had when they took a couple of days off. And suddenly their students didn't have to go to work, to go to school in the evening, and then take care of their families. That took a major load off the road. So those are the kinds of things that you see, and they're a function of Asheville being a unique commercial center. What we're going to see in the future is somewhat impacted by the current downturn and recession. But I can assure you that those of us that are baby boomers and looking to retire are going to move from Oklahoma to Asheville or Charlottesville, Virginia, or Fort Collins, Colorado. People with disposable income have planned and worked their whole lives to live in that beautiful place. And so they're still coming. It's a matter of when they sell and get out of the mortgage they're in. And 16% of the people in this country now have mortgages in excess of their income. So this may take a while. But this pattern will continue to see additional growth. That's not, we expect the growth in Asheville to be 90,000. We don't expect 90,000 new residents. That's the time. It's not as bad as we thought. We talked about these. So what happens when you have that kind of pattern of economic activity? We do have this strain on the infrastructure. How many of you have visitors on a regular basis? Okay, who didn't have a visitor this summer? Okay, you're lucky. What happens when you have people come to your house? I moved here 3 years ago. I've had relatives come visit me I've never seen. Right? From Maryland, from Texas, from Tennessee, from parts unknown. What happens is just like a town. You know what? There's more cars in the driveway. There's my driveway's not crumbling, but you know, if I had enough of that traffic, it would have an impact. My garbage disposal breaks down, my washer breaks down, my dryer breaks down, the plumber's out to clear out the mess from the garbage disposal backing up, and the kids, I don't know what that fuss out the toilet. But anyways, the same thing happens in a city. There's more physical stress put on this town as a result of that daytime population growth. And there's no mistaking it. There's no mistaking it. It's just like wearing out your clothes. We are seeing, we have some real opportunities in terms of environmental sustainability. We can't miss those opportunities. We're talking about how that's really important in the council. But the community spoke loud and clear about just seeing unregulated growth downtown and steep slope development is not in the long-term interest of the community. Other challenges, housing, the cost of housing is probably singly the highest, in response to the polls, the highest concern of residents in the community. It is, we not only have, we have a different problem nationally, which is the high percentage of people who have less equity than their mortgage. We have a situation where people, actually of the age of us in this audience, who don't have a mortgage but still can't pay their taxes. The values have gone up, the cost has gone up. It's a real challenge because of increased value. That's one of those good news, bad news. The good news is people are coming here and your property values are increasing. The bad news is that it puts a real strain. The City Council reduced at the last revaluation, when property values went up, the City Council did something that very few governments in the state of North Carolina did, and that was to offset it completely with a reduction in the tax rate. I want to talk for a minute about, so what has the City Council translated that environmental scan, those set of circumstances, how they translated that into strategic goals, and then what kinds of projects are we implementing to make a difference? What I get my stats back. These four things are the major emphases of the Asheville City Council. We have an election next November. We don't have an election today, but there's a high probability, or at least a probability, that we will have a change in the City Council. They will revisit these priorities at their annual retreat. We usually hold that for them, help them hold that in January. But last January, this is what their consensus became. And that is that they really were concerned about the cost of living in Asheville and wanting to do whatever they can to keep the price of government down while still providing quality services. We really put an emphasis on green. We actually have been a leader in terms of those strategies. We actually recently received a national award for the partnership with Mission and with Bunker County for a natural gas fueling station. We've converted a significant amount of our fleet to natural gas. And so we also are a state leader in terms of our recycling program. And we have made significant investments in terms of we have incentives for green building. If you take out a building permit, you're going to build a LEED certified building, a building that meets a high environmental and energy standard, you can get a reduction on your permit to build that building. So with those kinds of strategies, we're moving forward to promote energy and environmental sustainability. And there's long been a commitment to preservation of the environment and the natural, as well as the built environment. That's part of the preservation plan for downtown. So this is not anything new in Asheville. Many of you can take pride in the reason why downtown is revitalized and beautiful as it is today, so there's long been a commitment to preservation of those buildings as well as environmental assets. Safe, we have done more to add police officers, firefighters in the last 3 years. I can say that. Actually, it was set in motion, but we bought land, built 2 fire stations, the first fire station since the 1950s, on the west side of town, sort of west and southwest. We have added 18 additional folks just for drug enforcement alone and 30 other patrol officers. So our commitment to public safety is at the forefront. We're not doing as much as we want to do. We've done add resources and we've been more tactical with those resources to make an impact. But we still need to do more. And we think with the economic downturn, there'll be more pressure on that property crime. Sustainability, lots of focus on what is the right land use plan. I mentioned steep slope regulations. I mentioned that we also have quite a few other initiatives in that. I'm just going to go right to those. The Downtown Master Plan. Have any of you participated in, attended the Downtown Master Plan sessions? We've had, I'll touch on that a little bit more then since there's been limited involvement. This is an effort to ask people, what is the land use plan? What types of building, what types of architecture, what types of design standards? Do you want tall buildings? Do you want, what size massive buildings? What are the things that make a vibrant downtown in your mind? And so that process is going on at the moment, and it's been a recommitment. This is actually the third focus on downtown. This is one of those that falls in the category, keep paying attention to the things that you are doing well, so that you continue in that pattern. We're getting a lot of input on that. That will be coming to council after the first of the year, the recommendations for what development patterns and what are the major issues that people see and what stands in the way of downtown continuing to be vibrant and all it can be. There's also a Parks and Recreation Master Plan process that's going on. Actually, the Asheville Parks and Recreation system is a national award winner. We have found over time, though, that we are trying to be all things to all people, and you know what happens with that. You can do everything, but you can't do everything well. So we've got some issues with how far our resources go. Do we still need tennis courts, or do we need skate parks, or do we need passive parks and greenways and trails? Do we need active investments in our facilities? Those are the questions that are being put forward so that with the limited resources, we set appropriate priorities for the future. The current water system. The city of Asheville took control of what was at the time a regionally operated water system 3 years ago. Actually, took it over 3 days after I arrived, and it was not a pleasant experience. But I can tell you, there's always a good bit of pain with birth. At this point, this baby is doing quite well. The water system at this point is serving our region. That's not just the city of Asheville, but the Woodfin area, the Weaverville area. Black Mountain is a wholesale customer. The city of Hendersonville is a customer. We serve all of Buncombe County. At this point, we've had peer groups come in from outside the country. Financially, maintenance and repairs, by all standards, is a top-notch system at this point. A lot of the credit for this goes to the Asheville City Council and Bellamy for saying, we're going to take this over, if we're going to operate it, we're going to operate like a business, and we've taken that challenge and that course, and that includes digging in, literally, and fixing quite a few bit of the infrastructure. From water mains to bringing the water treatment plant, the B treatment plant back online. It was taken offline several years ago, over 10 years ago. It's back online. So we've upgraded our other water treatment plant in North Fork. So what you're seeing right now is a significant $40 million investment into making sure that we have a quality, dependable water source. And at this point, I'm really honored to be in a position to tell you that we have one of the best water supplies as a region of any in the entire country. We're very fortunate in that regard. Dyke Riverway Plan. This is a plan to clean up and to make the Shenandoah and the French Water Riverways attractive. There are a lot of participants in implementing this project, and this is another one of those that's not going to happen overnight. It's been underway now for 15 years. Riverlink's played a key role, London County's played a key role, the Department of Transportation's put money into this, the City of Asheville, the State of North Carolina, and it's really impressive how much land has been acquired and how many properties have been cleaned up. There's active brownfields work now that's taking care of some hazardous sites. The properties have been acquired, they've been reclaimed. We just recently acquired several pieces of property across the street from the golf course, along that area. And does everybody know where the Spirits on the River is? We've acquired that, and the plan is for that area, the consecutive string of properties there that include storage facilities and other industrial properties will be demolished. One building is an old restaurant, another restaurant that will be relocated. Many of the materials will be recycled, but you're going to see those structures, which are hazardous to the floodway, taken out, and those areas converted to more to implement this Greenway plan. So that work continues, and we've got a long ways to go in implementing that plan, but with everybody working together, we're going to continue to see progress there. I mentioned the green initiatives before. The bold thing that happened about 3 years ago was the mayor and council signed a commitment to reduce our carbon footprint. That means basically how much energy we use, fossil fuel energy we use. Our plan is to chip away at that, and we're way ahead of schedule ahead of this 2% reduction. So, but the cumulative effect of staying on this track will be significant. Recently, there was an editorial, you may have seen it, which called for an even higher level of commitment to green initiatives and called for a regional program. We wholeheartedly support that. We feel that we have done our part to be a leader, but just like air quality and land use planning and transportation planning doesn't begin and end the city of Asheville's border, it needs to be a regional program. So we look forward to a more regional approach to that and working with partners in business as well as government making that happen. Finally, we've been pursuing public-private partnerships. This is a relative new endeavor for the city of Asheville. We get into this because we have significant land holdings, not only downtown but in other parts of the community. And I firmly believe that good asset management is not to own land and do nothing with it, but to make sure that that land is either serving a significant public purpose or put it back to private use and let it create jobs and put tax base back into the system. So, and the council, tied back to that goal of creating affordable housing, said, can we look at these properties that we own and identify where it can be redeveloped and either be converted from a park maintenance building and a yard where we're just parking trucks or materials, and can we see either the residential development on that directly meets the housing goal, or can we, as with the Haywood property across from the Civic Center, is there a higher and better use for that that's compatible with downtown? Can you take the money from that property and then invest that in goals that the community supports? So these are 3 projects we're working on now. I'll also mention one that was recently covered by the media, and that's 51 Biltmore, which is just right over there, across the street. That property is owned by public interest, and they have public interest projects, and they have an interest in that being developed to meet their trust goals. And so they're trying to bring more commercial development on Biltmore. before, and they have actually partnered with the same group that's mentioned the Haywood property, the Kinder Group. So they have an offer to sell the land to them to build a hotel. They came to us and said, we're going to build a parking garage, but we understand there's a need for public parking in this immediate area. And if we allow this property to be developed, that means some 70 or 80 spaces are going to go off the inventory. Do you want to partner with us? And we said, yes. We own several, as you know, several parking garages downtown. And they are a big part of the infrastructure that makes downtown as a business center go. Without the downtown parking, you can't have residents in downtown. Without the downtown parking, you can't have a business downtown. It's just in the economics of downtown parking are so significant that we're in that business to promote job growth and the vibrancy of downtown. So with that, we responded to at this point, the council's approved us moving ahead with design of a 400-space parking garage on that property. And it's a complicated three-party deal. I can tell you that I can't guarantee it's going to happen, but even in this economy and this economic environment, it does appear to be a very viable project. And that's because the pro forma on it is positive, meaning the amount of demand for parking, we're just doing the parking project. The amount of demand for the parking in this particular area is well above what we need to generate in terms of revenue too. And at this point, I just mentioned that I'm going to wrap up and invite questions. You all are very familiar and very actively involved in the community, so I don't have to tell you about opportunities to be involved. But there are, of course, several that I'll remind you of. I'll just thank you for everything you do as a club to promote good government, community involvement, and the democratic principles. Firmly believe in that. Anything I can do to assist you in the future, any place that you want, anything else that I can do besides make these presentations, I'd be happy to do, because I know that you're trying to promote quality community, and that's what we're all about. With that, I'll open it up for any questions you may have. And
Gary, the economic situation is obviously going to have an impact not only on our citizens and taxpayers, but on the city's coffers, as well as your ability to finance the things that might have been possible otherwise. You want to briefly tell us about what you foresee?
Yes, the economy does have a direct impact. The direct impact is, first of all, on the revenue side, we are seeing less sales tax revenue. A good percentage of our budget is sales tax, a larger percentage of property tax. The property tax is going to be impacted by people's ability to pay. We'll probably have a lower rate of property tax payment this year than there's been in the past. The collections will be down. We are not as concerned about the current year as we are about planning for the next year, because the impacts that we're going to see are a moderate decline in our revenues, but we also, on the expense side, we're still seeing, the cost of materials, the cost of energy, the cost of health care, all those things are going up. The inflation index, in case you haven't seen it, is between 5 and 6% has been in the last year. The main impact is that secondary and tertiary impact that the unemployment is going up too. So all those recession indexes directly impact money coming in and the ability to either provide services or to finance capital improvements. So we're seeing a slowdown. What have we done about it? Would be the follow-up question. We have a soft hiring freeze. We have about $1 million gap on a $100 million budget this year. And so we'll get to most of that by slowing down our contracting, slowing down our capital courses. But the main thing is that I'm, through attrition, holding positions open. Unless they're police and fire, public safety positions, we're going to really slow down filling those positions. The other thing we're doing is council has agreed to slow down the capital improvement program going forward. We're really looking at next year, we're projecting a gap of about $5 million. So, and that's going to be a real challenge for us. But if we can look at streamlining our operations, look at these positions that I'm holding, restructure, I hate to use the D word, let's say right size the organization, streamline some. This is a real opportunity for us to increase the organization, and we're going to take that. And there are some functions that we might be able to combine, some management layers, supervisory layers we can take out, so we're looking at that as well. But a lot of what we're doing is going to impact services. But our commitment, you see where our priorities are, we're going to continue moving in those directions. We'll try to work on the edges at the same time. Yes, sir.
Would you tell us specifically what's going on downtown on the streets? It's maintenance, I'm sure, but is it for water, sewage, drainage, or what's going on? And they're doing a good job, I think, of staying out of the way of traffic. And it has not interrupted traffic very much. But I'd like to know what's going on.
Well, you're being kind. Traffic has been impacted, and businesses have been impacted, and we regret that. I don't mean to correct you, but there are significant detours, and there are lanes that are being closed down. And that's something we regret, particularly around this time of year. There are water line replacement projects. They're that's going back into business interaction. We lose about 30% of our water through leaks in the water system, and for a mountainous region like this, we're probably not going to get better than 20%. But what we had when we took over the operation of the water system was I can't remember the exact year, maybe somebody can help me out with this, but we had a $56 million backlog of water system repairs to do. I think it was about 8 years without rate increase, without a significant capital program. And I'm sorry, but be careful what you wish for. We got a plan to go through that. I said it was $40 million, and we issued bonds, so we didn't have to wait in case you go. So this is a major overhaul. We started with, because of the leak situation, because of the loss of water with the systems, the major trunk lines. Trunk lines that have been in place since the 20s, so the 50s. And we're taking them out and we're replacing them with greater capacity. And you'd be surprised with some of the, you see where the plates are now? That's where the excavations occur to pull out the old lines and put them in. It's a good thing you can't see in some of those holes. It's amazing that the system has worked as well as it has, and we haven't had some major incidences where we've lost water emission loss, things like that. But that was the state of the system, and that's the sense of urgency we have about correcting it. The pipes get replaced. It's a complicated process of taking out what's there, putting the new pipes in, backfilling. You do a minor patch schedule. At this point, we're finishing up on Tunnel Road. You may have seen in Kenilworth that the entire process has been completed. Then after you replace the line, you backfill, put a temporary surface on it, then you mill it, and then you do a permanent road resurfacing. So when we're done, all those roads that are being cut up like that will be a first-class piece of infrastructure. It should have a 50-year life. The water system will have, water pipes will have a 50-year life. The roadway will have 20-year life. Thank you very much. I appreciate your question.
Well, one of the things you need to fix those water pipes is a good earthquake once in a while when you fix everything. And by the way, we have these corporate memberships, so you'd be more than welcome to join, and maybe we can get the whole city involved and have you fellows show up once in a while. Next week there's no meeting. All right. And I don't know who's on the week after, but no meeting next week. We are adjourned.
Hello, I'm Keith Thompson. I'm past president of the Asheville Civitan Club. Our motto is Builders of Good Citizenship. As we reach out in service to others, we try to become well informed about activities and ideas in our community to meet the challenges that face us. Our regular meetings and our second season of the Spirit of Civitan television that you will be seeing this year presents these speakers and ideas in a way that we can all come together and learn how to be better citizens. Our regular scholarship program that's been going on for decades presents scholarships to deserving and high-achieving students from each of our 7 local public high schools. And here's a clip from our 2007 scholarship program.
I am Cal Remmers. I am the chairman of the Scholarship Committee of the Asheville Civitan Club. It's our pleasure here to honor 7 graduates, 1 from each of the 7 high schools of Buncombe County and Asheville City. All of these people are here to receive a scholarship of $3,000, which are awarded on the basis of excellence in scholarship and excellence in school and community citizenship activities. We also welcome, seated at this table, Cliff Dotson, Buncombe County Superintendent of Schools, and Robert Logan, Superintendent of Asheville City Schools.
And I'm going to major in nursing there, and after I obtain my bachelor's degree in nursing, I want to pursue my master's degree and become a pediatric nurse practitioner, and I want to come and work at Mission Hospitals in the pediatric wing because that's the place that I discovered that I have a love for nursing and children. I love to make people's lives better, and I want to move back into this area so I can help make a difference. In the past year, I've worked with my dad and the other 2 generations of my family at the fire department. I'm one of the few that can claim that they're the 3rd generation fireman. And I'm the first female out of my family to also occupy that role, which has been quite a challenge. But it has. And when Ms. Gentry was describing that I can go from one of my aspect of my life to the other, she was really awful on that, I promise you. I don't look the same getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning for a house fire that I do right now. My dad can attest to that. But thank you very much for providing me with this scholarship. I hope that in the future I'll be able to embody your motto of helping people.
First, I would like to thank the Asheville Civitans for allowing me to win this scholarship. But after high school, I plan on attending Clemson University, where I'm going to major in biology and hopefully become a dentist. It's going to take a lot of hard work, but I think I can do it. And I do plan on coming back to Asheville and being with Mom and the rest of my family. My father passing away last Christmas has put us kind of in a burden financially. That's why I'm so grateful for the scholarship. It's going to be put to well use, and I thank you all.
She helped me out my sophomore year. I applied for the School of Math and Science. I was too smart for them. And just from then on, we built a friendship, and she's really been a benefit to me. And I wouldn't be here, or I wouldn't have received any of the other things I've received without her. So thank you, Ms. Civitans. And I want to thank the Civitans because I probably would have been more stressed about college. Now I have a little thing to make me happier every time I think about it, and I have a nice scholarship to think about. I am a finalist for the Teaching Fellow Scholarship. If I receive that, I plan to attend Appalachian State University, major in mathematics, and be certified to teach secondary education. High school mathematics is not a very popular group of area for people to educate in, so I hope to teach wherever I might get the nicest high school. So I may be back here in Buncombe County, I may be in coast, who knows? But I will be in North Carolina, and I'm very proud of North Carolina. It's my home. Buncombe County is my home. Broad River, where I live, is my home. I really identify with the Southern culture. I might be also attending Salem College in Winston-Salem. It's an all-girls school, very small. But I don't know. I hate having to decide, so I'm still kind of in the middle, swaying between either one of them. So thank you once again for the scholarship, and it'll go to good use.
I would like to thank the Civitan Club members for allowing me this great opportunity. I will be attending this fall the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and I plan on possibly double majoring in African American Studies and Business. I plan also to get my MBA after business, my bachelor's. In the future, I plan on either two options, working for a large corporation or either becoming an African American Studies professor at Howard University in Washington, D.C. Thank you for this honor.
Our scholarship program is one of the most exciting times in our Civitan calendar to recognize students for their achievement as students and their good citizenship in their extracurricular and community activities. We also present Good Citizenship Awards to 2 students from each of our local public high schools every year. And here's a clip from our Good Citizenship Awards recognizing these students.
Brass Quintet, North Buncombe High School.
You will stand and receive your plaque when I call your name. Tracy Barrett. Megan Bridges. Sarah Devlin. Zachary Dillo. Adam Fisher. Brooks Frederick. Rebecca Jones. Caroline Kirby. Chris Scanzoni. Holly Schreier. Samuel Shuford. Clark Eulenhop. Mary Withers. Ethan Wooten. Congratulations to the 2008 Good Citizenship Award winners.
Another high point of our Civitan calendar is when we present Spirit of Civitan Awards to very well-deserving citizens who go above and beyond the call of their job description to really reach out and make this a much better place to live. And one example of that was our recent award to K. Ray Bailey, president of Asheville Buncombe Technical Community College, who for many, many years really provided economic and educational opportunities to students that really made their lives and the lives of their family much better. So it's with great pride that we are able to recognize such good citizens on a regular basis. With all the great things that Asheville Civitan Club does, we invite you to join us to come to our regular Tuesday noon luncheon meetings at Trinity Episcopal Church in downtown Asheville at the corner of Aston and Lexington. We always have great speakers, we have a great meal, and we present the types of things that every informed citizen can benefit from. We invite you to join us to become builders of good citizenship. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Richard Petty. Did you know that for 90 years, Civitans have been making a difference in communities around the world by raising funds and serving needs of others? Civitans have made life better for millions of people like my buddy Jacob. Help me and Civitan members in your area make a difference by contacting your local club or visiting us on the web at civitan.org. Together, we can supercharge your community.